Coach Bill Heitkamp. The Spartans getting final instructions from Bob Brink, and we're just about set for the Central Lakes Conference opener right here on 98 Country. Emmett Keenan with you from Cold Spring. Our producer tonight is Tanya Summers, and we're pleased to be able to bring you ROCORI basketball on 98 Country. Once again, our officials are Steve Bullard and Ron Sebring. Both gentlemen work at St. Cloud State University and did not do the sophomore game, so they're well rested, ready to go up and down in this one. Spartans will move from left to right as I watch it for you here in the first quarter in Cold Spring. It will be Headley going up against Hondo. The tap is controlled by Hondo. Got it back to Kraus. Kraus across the timeline. Looks like man-to-man defense by the Warriors. Rostein dribbles to the key area. Right wing Wayne Schreiner to the key. Stops, fakes, 15-footer by the left-hander. Won't go. Rebound loose on the floor. Battled for, and finally the Warriors come away with it. Gus Bolam pushes it up the left side against Jim Kraus, and then he lost it out of bounds off his own leg. Kraus may have tipped it, but then it went off his leg out of bounds. Turnover number 1 on the Warriors, and the Spartans will come back the other way. Now Kraus has trouble in the backcourt, but he's fouled by a diving Gus Bolam. First foul of the ball game, and a backcourt inbound for the Spartans. Just 23 seconds into the ball game, we're scoreless. Scott Schreiner will handle the inbound in the backcourt as he gets it into Kraus, who will work against man-to-man pressure by Bolam. Kraus on the dribble all the way down the paint, dumps it off to Hondo, and Hondo backing in was fouled on the drive. Underneath, I believe the foul will go against Chris Costello, who looks like he's drawn the defensive assignment on Scott Hondo. First on Costello, second team foul on the Warriors. Inbound underneath the basket for the Spartans. Into Rostein, off the inbound, and he hits about a 17-footer. Had Rostein first 2 points of the ball game. 2-0 Spartans, and they apply a zone press, but it's broken quickly by the Warriors. Bolam into trouble, back to Costello. Right wing Nielsen, low post pass for Headley was tipped away by Scott Schreiner, but the Warriors get it back. On the right wing, Nielsen. Down low, Headley, back to Nielsen. Underneath it goes to Tusher, who gave it back to Headley for the bucket. Josh Headley has the first 2 for Brainerd. Kraus against pressure by Bolam. Comes to the left side, Hondo 2 on the way, count it. Scott Hondo with a 17-footer makes it 4-2 Spartans. Warriors quickly back, Bolam down the paint. Leaves it back out to Costello. Costello will set it from up on top. Costello on the dribble, goes right wing Nielsen. Nielsen into the corner for Tusher. Now Nielsen up top to Costello. Left wing it goes, Bolam, three-pointer is good. Gus Bolam hits the 3, 5-4 Brainerd. Pressure in the backcourt, Wayne Schreiner on the dribble. Wayne pushes it into the forecourt on the right hand, is offhand on the dribble. Leaves it for Jimmy Kraus up top. Jim goes to the left side to Rostein. Rostein looks inside, can't find anybody. Cross-court Schreiner, 18-footer is short, missed everything, and the rebound comes away to Bolam for the Warriors. Gus Bolam pushes it up the left side. Up top, Costello, fake the 3, dumps it on the right wing now to Nielsen. Back up to Costello, dumps it into Tusher. Tusher to Headley, back to Tusher. 15-footer won't go, but a foul on the rebound is going to be whistled against Gus Bolam on the offensive board. His second and now the third team foul on the Warriors. 5:52 remaining first quarter, 5-4 Brainerd. Backcourt inbound for the Spartans against good man-to-man pressure. They get it into Kraus, who will work against Bolam. Everybody will clear out and let Jim have his say as he crosses the timeline, as he ping-pongs it with his left hand. Goes on the left wing now to Rostein. Rostein looks inside. Up on top, Scott Schreiner, working against Headley. Left side, Hondo. Drives it down the paint, running 14-footer, won't go. And the rebound, no to Kraus, layup, won't go. Rebound loose on the floor, tracked down by Scott Schreiner. Got it back to Rostein, launches a 3, bang! And Rostein with the 3, puts the Spartans on top, 7-5. Up the right wing now is Nielsen as the Warriors push it ahead quickly. Headley in the corner, looking inside, can't find Tusher. They reverse it back. Costello now back to Nielsen, 3, missed everything. May have been deflected by Rostein, and then a foul on the rebound on the Warriors. Going to go against Mike Tusher, his first. Brent Stark will check into the game now, replacing Gus Bolam, who will sit down with the 2 personals for the Warriors. That is 4 team fouls now on Brainerd, as Tusher picks up his first. And so an inbound now for the Spartans in the backcourt against the pressure. They lead it by 2 with 5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Kraus on the dribble. Behind the back, now he goes left side. Rostein, 17-footer. You can count that one, too. Pat Rostein is hot at the start here. He has 7 points, 9-5 Spartans. Into the forecourt, Stark. Down the paint, in trouble, triple team. Got it back to Costello on top. Right side, Nielsen on the wing. Rostein's out on him quickly. Very aggressive zone. Costello's 3 won't go, and the rebound, Wayne Schreiner. Dumps it out to Kraus on the outlet. Kraus pushes it into the forecourt. Drives it down the paint. Shovel pass, Scott Schreiner, and an offensive foul on Kraus after he, well, actually before he let go of the pass, because they called the player control foul on Jim. Jim driving down the paint. Knocked down one of the Warriors and is called for the offensive foul. The first team foul on the Spartans in the ballgame. Costello gets it ahead to Stark as they break the pressure. Stark on the dribble, working around the key area. Now he gets it back on the left wing. Tusher up on top, Costello. Low post, Headley blocked by Wayne Schreiner, and back the other way come the Spartans, 3-on-1. 17-footer, Rostein short off the rim, and the rebound comes down to Costello. Costello ahead to Nielsen for the Warriors. Maybe an ill-advised shot by Rostein. 15-footer by Tusher hit nothing but glass, and the rebound comes away to Scott Schreiner. Kraus into the forecourt. Good man-to-man defense by the Warriors. Rostein, left corner. On the dribble, dribbles to the left wing. Key area, Scott Schreiner, 17, won't go. Rebound comes down to Costello for the Warriors. Triggers it ahead to Nielsen, quickly down the right side. Nielsen on the high post, now back to Costello. Back to Nielsen, 3 on the way, that won't go. Rebound tapped around and Jimmy Kraus comes away with it. Long outlet, Hondo, 1-on-1. Had it taken away by Costello, but it's out of bounds. It still belongs to the Spartans on a nifty defensive play by Chris Costello to keep Scott Hondo from getting the bunny or maybe the jam on the end of that break. A good outlet pass by Jim Kraus. Mike Johnson will check in now for the Warriors, replacing Mike Tusher. Starting 5 still on the floor for the Spartans as Kraus will inbound underneath the basket. Gets it into Hondo, low post, turnaround, short off the rim, and the rebound comes down to Costello. 9-5 Spartans, 3:20 remaining first quarter. Nielsen on the right wing to Costello. High post, it goes to Johnson. Now Stark on the left side. Low post pass for Johnson, went through his hands out of bounds. That is turnover number 2 on the Warriors. And again, they will apply pressure. This time looks like maybe some zone pressure. And now they're going to back off. It is man-to-man pressure. Stark working on Kraus. Jimmy on the dribble to the left wing. Going to the left corner for Rostein, who dribbles it back up on top. Left corner, Hondo looks inside. Back to Rostein, fakes the 3 on the drive. Dumps it out to Hondo, 3 on the way. Well, that won't go. That one was long, and the rebound comes down to Headley. They trigger it ahead, pushing it up the left side, Johnson. Now Stark up on top, Costello. Low post pass, Headley is knocked away by Wayne Schreiner, and Hondo comes back the other way. Hondo down the paint, shovel layup won't go. Rebound, Wayne Schreiner, putback good. That was Scott Schreiner on the putback. His first 2, 11-5 Spartans. 2:30 remaining here in the first quarter. This is going to be a wild one. Costello still in the backcourt, working against Kraus. Now across the timeline. Right side, Nielsen. Nielsen goes high post, Johnson. Out to Costello, outside the arc. Left side, Stark. Now in the left corner to Johnson. Back to Stark. They reverse it back up on top to Costello. Right wing, Nielsen, outside the arc. Good aggressive zone by the Spartans. Headley, 17-footer from the corner, won't go. And the rebound to Scott Schreiner, who has played a monster game on the boards already, and he's fouled when he comes down with it. Scott Schreiner had a great night rebounding against Melrose, and he's off to a great start here tonight. 2:04 remaining first quarter, 11-5 Spartans. Joe Hemish now is going to give Jim Kraus a break. Derek Nielsen picks up his first personal on the play, 15 foul on the Warriors. And an inbound for Scott Schreiner, who gets it into his cousin Wayne. Wayne will work in the backcourt, slipped on the dribble, and the ball is taken away by Johnson. Johnson, reverse layup, good. Mike Johnson, after Wayne Schreiner slipped, got the layup, 11-7. Rostein on the dribble. Dribbles to the left wing, gets it off to Hondo. Hondo, through traffic, had it taken away on the dribble by Nielsen. Nielsen pushes it back the other way. Nielsen up on top to Costello. He'll bark the signals. Looks like almost a 2-3, maybe a 1-1-3 zone. Headley in the low post. Up on top, Stark. 2 on the way. That counts. Brent Stark stepped on the arc as he shot. It's a 2-pointer. 11-9 Spartans. Rostein pushes it to the left wing. Now to Scott Schreiner. Couple of dribbles through the key area. Goes right wing. Rostein, 3 on the way. Got it. Pat Rostein has a couple of threes. 10 points on the ball game. 14-9. Spartans lead. 1:02 remaining. Headley into the forecourt. Leaves it for Costello. Under a minute to play now. First quarter. Right side, it goes to Nielsen in the corner. Back to Costello. Almost taken away by Wayne Schreiner. Left side, Stark. This is a 3. Won't go. And the rebound is going to roll out of bounds. It will belong to the Spartans with 44 seconds remaining here in this wild first quarter. Hasn't been a lot of scoring, but up and down action. 14-9 Spartans. Rostein will work against Nielsen in the backcourt. Beats him on the left-hand dribble. Now spins through the key area. On the right wing, Hemish. Back to Rostein. 3. That one won't go. Rebound comes down to Mike Johnson, who looked like he might have traveled in the backcourt. No whistle. Ahead it comes to Stark in the paint. 14-footer won't go. Rebound Johnson is blocked by Scott Schreiner. Headley got it back though, and the reverse layup goes. Josh Headley has 4. 14-11 Spartans. 14 seconds remaining in the quarter. Rostein to Wayne Schreiner. 9 on the clock. Right side, Hemish. Looks down low, Hondo. Baseline turnaround. Good! Scott Hondo with 3 seconds remaining in the quarter. Long shot at the end of the quarter won't go by the Warriors. Scott Hondo has 4 points. First quarter comes to an end. Our score, ROCORI 16, Brainerd 11. We're back in 1 minute on 98 Country. They better not keep that up for 4 quarters. I'm not going to be able to do it, man.
Sore throat?
Actually, I've been battling a cold and a sore throat all week. This is my 3rd game this week, and I got one tomorrow afternoon. So, but actually, I feel better tonight than I have all week. So,
you got to go up to Moorhead tomorrow and do the St. Ben's girls.
Yeah, I got to get on a bus in St. Joe at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Go to Moorhead. So. I'm not sure that anything can match Central Lakes Conference basketball for intensity, and we've seen that in the first quarter of the opener, a very intense up-and-down ball game. Spartans lead at 16-11. Brainerd inbounds on the alternate possession to open the quarter. Costello brings it up against the 2-3 zone. Up on top now to Bolam, who's back in with the 2 fouls. On the left side, Nielsen working against Joe Hemish. Up on top, Costello reverses it right side to Mike Johnson. Right corner, Nielsen, 3 on the way. That's good. Eric Nielsen, his first 3 points of the ball game, and it's 16-14 Spartans. Rostein pushes it up the left side. Hondo, 17-footer from the corner, short off the rim. Rebound battled for. Hemish dives for it, but tipped it out of bounds, and it will go over to Brainerd. It's Scott Schreiner, Joe Hemish, Wayne Schreiner, Pat Rostein, and Scott Hondo on the floor for the Spartans. Costello, the 6'3" point guard on the dribble. Up on top, Bolam, long 3, short off the rim, and the rebound comes down to Hondo. He pushes it ahead. They've got the numbers. 3 on 2. Right side, Wayne Schreiner. They didn't get the break, though. Rostein back up on top now. Right wing, Hemish faked the shot and then traveled as he put it on the floor. Joe Hemish got a nice fake, got the guy off his feet, but then shuffled the feet before he put it on the floor. 7:03 remaining in the first half. 16-14. ROCORI on top. Up on top now for the Warriors is Bolam. Left wing, Johnson, 3 is good. Mike Johnson hits a 3. He has 5, and the Warriors have their first lead at 17-16. Pushing it down the left side. Rostein now going for the drive, and he was fouled. Rostein went end to end, went up strong, and he was fouled underneath. by Eric Nielsen. Bill Heitkamp wants the charge called on Rostein, but nothing doing as Nielsen picks up his second personal. That is 6 team fouls now on the Warriors. As Jim Krause checks back in now for Wayne Schreiner. And at the line to shoot 2 will be Pat Rostein. Rostein with 10 points in the first quarter, 10 of the Spartans' 14 in that stanza. Excuse me, 10 of their 16. Scott Hondel had 4 and Scott Schreiner had 2. Free throw is good. The Spartans, by the way, coming into this ball game were 46 of 52 from the free throw line. I'm not real good at math, but that's about 90%. Rostein's second free throw is also good, and the Spartans lead at 18-17. Pressure in the backcourt. They move it quickly ahead, though. Nielsen on the right wing. To Costello up on top for the Warriors. Right side, Nielsen. Down low, Headley. Good, strong move. He got it, and he was fouled. Good, strong move by Josh Headley, and he drew the foul on Scott Schreiner. Headley has 6, chance to make it 7 as Schreiner picks up his first personal. Only the second team foul of the half on the Spartans. As the Warriors go back up on top now, 19-18, and 6'7" junior Josh Headley has a chance to make it a 2-point Brainerd bulge. And he does so. And again, pressure in the backcourt by the Warriors. Everybody will clear out and let Rostein work on Nielsen. Pat goes to the left hand and pushes it easily into the forecourt. To Hondel, back up on top of Rostein. This is a 2, and it's good. Rostein stepped on the arc. He has 14, and we're tied at 20 with 6:15 remaining in the first half. Costello across the timeline on the dribble. He goes to the left side to Johnson. Johnson leaves it for Bolam up on top. Now to Costello. Costello on the right wing to Johnson. Into the corner to Nielsen outside the arc. Now back to Costello on the right wing. High post Headley. Bounce pass left side Bolam. Couple of dribbles. Still on the dribble on the arc. Now back out to Costello. And the pass is tipped away, and Johnson lost it on the sideline. Turnover on Brainerd. And the ball goes over to the Spartans with 5:50 remaining in the half. Scott Schreiner gets it into Jim Krause, who will work on Gus Bolam coming up the floor. Krause across the timeline. Left side Rostein. Looks inside, can't find anybody. Now up on top it comes to Schreiner, and a whistle and a foul away from the ball, I believe on Jim Krause, trying to set a screen for Scott Hondel. Ron Sebring, the official, talking to him, telling him what happened. I think Jim may have held a little bit on the screen, trying to free Scott Hondel. Picks up his second personal. Third team foul on the Spartans as Wayne Schreiner checks in now for Joe Hemish. Tied at 20 with 5:38 remaining in the first half. Costello for Brainerd. Crosses the timeline. It's like a 2-1-2 or maybe a 2-3 zone for the Spartans now. Up on top, Bolam. On the left wing, Johnson. Left corner, Nielsen. Outside the arc, fake the 3. Got it back to Bolam. Up on top, Costello as they work the perimeter, looking for Headley to come open. Now Johnson, his 3 from the right wing won't go, and the rebound to Rostein. Rostein pushes it ahead to Krause. Krause will back it out and set the offense on the dribble for the Spartans. Right wing, Hondel drives it down the paint. Layup good, and he was fouled on the blocking foul. Boy, what a power move by the junior Scott Hondel as he got it on the right wing, took it right down the paint, made the layup on the finger roll, and was fouled to boot. 6 points now for Scott Hondel, as drawing the foul underneath was Mike Johnson, his first. That is the 7th team foul. That will put the Spartans in the bonus for the remainder of the half. Trying to complete the 3-point play now is Hondel, and he missed the free throw. Tapped out of bounds on the rebound. Last touched by Wayne Schreiner will belong to Brainerd. Hondel gave the Spartans the lead, though, 22-20 with 5 minutes remaining first half. Costello. Now to Mike Tusher, who's back in the ballgame. Bolam now back to Costello. Starting 5 in there now for the Warriors. Also starting 5 for the Spartans. On the left wing is Bolam to Costello. Costello wheels it to the right side to Tusher. Right corner, Nielsen. Nielsen, couple of dribbles. Tries the entry pass to Headley, but it's not there. Bolam, 3-pointer. That won't go. And the rebound comes down to Hondel, who pushes it ahead to Rostein. Rostein tried to drive it down the paint. Had it tipped away from him by Costello. And Brainerd comes away with the ball. Ahead it comes to Bolam. Bolam one-on-one with Wayne Schreiner. And Wayne with the blocking foul on the dribble. That's the first on Wayne, 4th on the Spartans. As Doug Sherman, the 6'6" senior, will come in now replacing Jim Krause as the Spartans try to get a little bit more size on the floor against these Brainerd Warriors. Inbound underneath the basket for the Warriors. Bolam to the key area. 14-footer on the run, won't go, and the rebound comes down to Hondo, who lost it to Bolam. Hondo never actually had control of it, and Bolam came away with it. Bolam, cross-court, Costello launches a three, bang. Chris Costello, his first 3 points of the ball game. 4 threes in the game for the Warriors, and they lead at 23-22. Rothstein to Hondo, back to Rothstein, fakes the three, gets it back to Hondo. Hondo starts it down the lane, stops, pops from 14 and hits. Scott Hondo with the pull-up J from 14 has 8, and the Spartans are back on top by 1, 24-23. 3:40 remaining here in the first half. Costello, Nielsen on the right wing. Right corner, Headley, 17 is long, and the rebound on the backside to Scott Schreiner. He leaves it for his cousin Wayne, who gives it to Pat Rothstein. Rothstein across the timeline on the dribble. Wheels in the key area, picks up his dribble and leaves it for Scott Schreiner up top. Left side, Wayne Schreiner stops, 15-footer, good. Wayne Schreiner's first 2 points of the ball game, a 3-point Spartan lead with 3:10 remaining first half. Costello on the dribble, backs it out, gets instructions from Bill Heitkamp, will call play number 1. Nielsen on the right wing. Headley in the corner, back to Nielsen, back up to Costello. Brainerd has been very patient offensively. Nielsen to Costello, launches a three, count it. Chris Costello has 6, and we're tied again at 26. Somehow you get the feeling this is going to go down to who has the basketball last. Rothstein, right wing, into the right corner, Scott Schreiner. Scott brings it to the right wing on the dribble and then all the way on top. Goes across the key area to Rothstein. Sherman up on top. Lob pass down low. Hondo on the block. Reverse layup. Good. Nice move. And a nice entry pass from Doug Sherman. Hondo has 10. 28-26 Spartans. Costello, right wing. Pass tipped by Wayne Schreiner, but it comes away to Bolam. Bolam, left corner, Nielsen. Faked the three, but Scott Schreiner got right out on him. Now Bolam launches a three that's short. Rebound underneath. Tusher, put back good, and he was fouled. Mike Tusher with the offensive board, the putback basket, and a shot at a three-point play. The foul is going to go against Pat Rothstein underneath. That is Pat's first, the 5th team foul now on the Spartans. And at the line to try to complete the three-point play will be Mike Tusher, the 6'1" senior post player. He does it, and it's a 1-point Brainerd lead, 29-28. And now Tusher will sit down, replaced by Mike Johnson, with 2:07 remaining in the first half. As you listen to Prep Basketball on 98 Country, WWJO St. Cloud, 98.1 FM for all of mid-Minnesota. Rothstein across the timeline on the dribble. Goes on the left side for Hondo. Up on top, Sherman. High over his head to Rothstein, left wing, fakes a three. Hondo in the left corner. Down low, Schreiner tried to dump it off to Sherman. Extra pass, wasn't a good move. It was picked off in the lane. Back come the Warriors the other way. Costello. Right corner, Nielsen. Into the lane, Johnson, and he was fouled as Scott Schreiner stepped out to meet him, I believe. Maybe not. May have been away from the ball. No, it is Scott Schreiner as he stepped out to meet the pass. That is his second. The 6th team foul on the Spartans in the half with 1:38 remaining. Costello, lob pass out on top, Bolam, fakes the three against Wayne Schreiner, goes left side to Mike Johnson. Now Bolam, again outside the arc. Nielsen drives the baseline on Scott Schreiner, and Scott again is going to be whistled for a foul, pushing on the dribble. That is Scott's 3rd, and this will be free throws now on the bonus situation for the Warriors. Joe Hemish will check in now, I'm sure replacing Scott Schreiner, who will sit down with those 3 personals. At the line to shoot the bonus will be Eric Nielsen. 3 points in the ballgame, coming on a 3. 5 3-pointers for the Warriors. 2, both by Pat Rothstein for the Spartans. First free throw by Nielsen is good. He'll get 1 more. 3 of 3 from the free throw line are the Brainerd Warriors. Nielsen's second right-handed throw is good. 5 points for Eric Nielsen. A 3-point Brainerd lead, that's their biggest margin, as Pat Rothstein operates in the backcourt for the Spartans. On the dribble, works against Nielsen with 1:20 remaining in the half. Joe Hemish up on top. Left side, Wayne Schreiner, 18-footer. That's short off the rim. He was falling away as he took it. Didn't get quite enough oomph on it, and the Spartans come away with the rebound. Nielsen leaves it for Costello. High post it goes. Good bounce pass down low for Headley. Missed the shot. Got his own rebound and was fouled on the putback attempt. A good entry pass by Mike Johnson on the bounce pass. Headley's first layup wouldn't go. And then the putback, he was fouled. As Josh Lindquist will check in now for the Spartans, and he'll replace Wayne Schreiner. Josh Headley has 7 points in the ballgame. The personal foul, by the way, was on Joe Hemish, his first. Also checking in now for the first time for Brainerd is Ben Sievers. He will replace Eric Nielsen. And also checking in now Mike Aho, and he will come in for Gus Bola. 1:02 remaining in the half. 31-28, or rather Brainerd on top as Headley misses the first free throw. That is the first miss from the line in the ball game for the Brainerd Warriors. Second free throw is up. That one also no good, and the rebound to Scott Hondo with a minute remaining in the half. Rostein will operate in the backcourt, working against Sievers, who's just into the ball game. Rostein, he goes on the right wing to Joe Hemish. Hemish dribbles through the key area, bounces left side for Hondo. Hondo down the lane, and a blocking foul as he tried to go up with the shot. Boy, what a big-time collision between Scott Hondo and Mike Aho. Mark Johnson, the football coach, sitting on the other side, saw that collision and said, we've got to talk about that. Maybe Mr. Hondo needs to play football next year, as he went hard down the lane and went chest to chest in there with Mike Aho. The foul calls against Aho is his first. And at the line to shoot 2 is Scott Hondo. Free throw is good. 11 points on the ball game for Scott, who's averaging 31.5 in the 2 non-conference games. Second free throw is off, no good. And the rebound battled for and finally coming away with it on the bouncing ball is Josh Headley for the Warriors. 2-point Brainerd lead. Looks like they may go for one shot with 35 seconds remaining in the half. That's exactly what Bill Heitkamp is saying. Costello plays catch with Sievers. Spartans will maybe extend the zone a little bit to put some pressure on. Costello holding it up on top. Now down to 19 seconds. Costello still holding on to the ball. Now down to 14 as they start to move. Sievers to Costello, 10. To Bolam. To Costello, long 3, good with 5 seconds remaining. Spartans have to hurry. Inbound pass is stolen and then loose on the floor, and there goes the horn. Costello with the last 3 of the half, and Brainerd takes a 34-29 lead into the dressing room. We'll come back to talk about the first half in 2 minutes here in Cold Spring on 98 Country. Tanya, you can play the halftime sponsors on the next break, okay? Well, back to Cold Spring at the ROCORI High School after a wild and woolly first half. It's Brainerd 34, ROCORI 29. The Spartans led it pretty much, at least by 1 or 2, all the way through until about 6 minutes remained in the first half. Then Brainerd jumped up to the lead, and they lengthened it to 5, their biggest margin at halftime, with a three-pointer with about 3 seconds remaining in the half by Chris Costello, who has 9 points in the ball game for the Spartans, all coming on three-pointers, all coming in the second quarter. Take a look at the scoring. First of all, for the Spartans, Pat Rostein, who had 10 points at the end of the first quarter, leads the Spartans with 14. He has a couple of three-pointers, 3 two-point field goals, and is 2 of 2 from the free throw line. We had to take up a collection. You see in Paynesville, where they've got those padded bleachers in the middle? Right. We need to take up a collection and get some of those here, man. Would you start that campaign?
The money for the scoreboard, they could do that too.
The scoreboard, they're not paid for yet? Is that what you're saying? They got to raise the money now, or that's what they did? That's what they did, is raise the money for the scoreboards? Or? Yeah, ma'am. 63-52 Wolves at halftime over the Clippers, right? Okay. All right, the Clippers, is that who they're playing? Okay, thanks. Halftime here at ROCORI. Brainerd leads ROCORI 34-29. Emmett Keenan with you here on 98 Country. Tanya Summers is our producer tonight. Be sure and stay tuned after the ball game for more of the Heartland's hottest right here on 98 Country. Tanya keeps you informed of the best, and I think it's Friday night, and that means they did have a game scheduled on Monday against the Albany Huskies, but that game has been changed to February, so they will play next Friday against Wilmer here. Alexandria taking on Wilmer tonight. Also tomorrow afternoon at Little Falls and Apollo will open their Central Lakes Conference schedules. And of course, Tech is playing non-conference play this weekend because there are only 7 teams in the Central Lakes Conference. So consequently, everybody will have an off day, so to speak, a couple of times throughout the rotation this year as things go along. Well, the Spartans are coming back on the floor. See what kind of magic Bob Brink worked with them at halftime. ROCORI trailing Brainerd 30. Tanya, how are we doing spot load wise? Are we behind with the... Welcome back to ROCORI High School. Both teams back on the floor. We are just about set for second half action, and we'll have it in 30 seconds on 98 Country. Do you know which one of these guys is Mike Sahar? What's that? I'm sorry. Which of these coaches is Mike Sahar?
Oh, see, I know the Hendrickson's away at the end.
One of these two guys?
Sahar's the one putting it. Sahar's the guy with the suit on.
Okay. To the Spartans on the alternate possession as we open up second half. Spartans move right to left as I look at for you here in Cold Spring. It will be Wayne Schreiner, Pat Rostein, Scott Hondel, Scott Schreiner, and Joe Hemish. Bigger lineup on the floor for the Spartans. Rostein pushes it on the right side for Schreiner. Down low, Hondel, turn around in the paint, short up the rim, and the rebound comes down to Costello. Brainerd pushes it ahead. Nielsen down the right side to Costello. Up on top, Bolam. Starting 5 on the floor, it looks like, for the Warriors. Up on top, Costello. Right side, Headley. Way out is the 6'7" post player. Hondel's on him. Pass tipped away by Rostein, out of bounds. It will stay with Brainerd. A half a minute into the second half, 34-29, Warriors lead. Inbound in the right corner to Nielsen. Nielsen, couple of dribbles, now a couple more. Still a couple of more. Now down the lane is Bolam, and he was fouled on the drive by Scott Schreiner up on top. And if so, that is 4 on the Spartan post player. And that is 4 on Scott Schreiner. And that's a big blow because he did a nice job in the first half on the boards for ROCORI. First team foul of the half on either team. Inbound to Headley underneath. Shot blocked by Hondel. Got it back. Put back good. Josh Headley was rejected the first time by Scott Hondel, but the putback was good. 36-29 Warriors, 7:10 remaining. In the third quarter, Scott Schreiner down low. Hondel layup won't go. Battle for the rebound comes away to the Warriors. Bolam. Gus Bolam pushes it ahead up the left side along with Wayne Schreiner. Blocked from behind by Schreiner on the shot, and Schreiner picks up the foul. That is 2 on Wayne, second team foul of the half on the Spartans. And Gus Bolam will go to the line to shoot 2 for Brainerd.
Come on, wake up.
Already leading at 36-29 as Jim Krause will check in now for Scott Schreiner. Spartans have appeared a little bit lethargic since about 2 minutes remaining in the first half until this point. Left-handed free throw by Bolam is good. He'll get one more. He has 4 points in the ball game with a chance to make it 5. Bill Heitkamp up, barking instructions to his team, talking to his point guard Chris Costello, who's standing out near the timeline. Left-handed free throw, no good, and the rebound comes down to Hemish. Hemish leaves it in the backcourt for Hondel, who gives it back to Rostein. Rostein wheeling through the key area. Right side, Jim Krause. Krause on the arc, goes cross-court. Hemish, 18-footer, bang. Joe Hemish can shoot the ball when he gets the opportunity. 37-31 as Hemish picks up his first 2 points. A 6-point Brainerd lead. Costello on the dribble. Through the key area. Stopped. Underhanded scoop from 12 is good. Chris Costello has 11. 39-31 Brainerd. 8-point bulge is their biggest. Right side, Hemish got hung up as he went up to shoot and then traveled. Same spot on the floor, just the opposite side. Had a hand in his face when he went up and came down with the ball. Traveling violation, the ball goes over to the Warriors. Costello. Across the timeline on the dribble. On the right wing, Nielsen looks inside for Headley. Can't get it to him. Costello gets the entry pass to him, though. Headley in the lane, 5-footer good. Josh Headley has 11, and it's a 10-point Brainerd lead at 41-31. Rostein on the dribble. Stops up on top to Krause, right side. Starts it down the paint, leaves it for Hondel. 15-footer, rolls off. Rebound comes down to Bolam. Bolam pushing it ahead. 2-on-2, he'll back it out on the dribble. Comes out on top to Costello. Costello way out on top, almost back to the timeline. Leisurely dribble will set the offense. Starts at right side. Tried to put a move on Wayne Schreiner, but he stepped on the baseline out of bounds. And the ball will go over to the Spartans with 5:30 remaining in the third quarter, and Bob Brink wants a timeout. Timeout ROCORI. Brainerd leads at 41-31. We're back in 1 minute on 98 Country.
Has Brainerd had ROCORI's number over the years? That's what I've heard. Has Brainerd had ROCORI's number over the years? I've heard that. I don't know, but
quite a bit.
Certain times, certain teams match up with certain teams.
Yeah. ROCORI last year, early in the year, ROCORI led by 20 points in Brainerd, and Brainerd won it by 6.
You get the
That'd be
score.
hard.
You get the score.
Well, let's see what Bob Brink had to say to the troops. They trail by 10, 5:25 remaining third quarter. Pat Rostein into the forecourt. Spartans have not been shooting well, so 10 points as a bunch, the way they've been putting the ball up right now. Kraus, left side Hamish. Fakes a 17-footer with the 6'7" Headley on him. Brings it around to Rostein. Rostein down the key area, and he traveled. Juggled the ball and switched pivot feet as he was turning in the key area. Turnover on the Spartans. And Brainerd has a 10-point lead and the ball with 5:05 remaining in the third. Costello. Now looks like maybe a half-court trap by the Spartans, and the ball is tipped away by Hamish. Hamish on the layup is fouled by Costello. Hammered to the floor. Joe's okay, and he'll go to the line to shoot two. Costello made sure he wasn't going to get the layup. That is two on Costello, first team foul of the half on the Warriors. And at the line to shoot two will be Joe Hamish. Let's look back here. Joe Hamish was 2 of 3 against Melrose from the line. And he was 4 of 5. So he's 6 of 9 on the year, 66% from the free throw line for Joe Hamish. Free throw good. Half-court trap worked the first time down as the Spartans got the steal, and Hamish hits both free throws. 4 points for Joe, and now pressure in the backcourt by the Spartans on the made basket. Tusher ahead to Headley. To Bolam on the left side. Stops outside the arc and leaves it back for Costello. Right side Nielsen. Right corner Tusher. Back to Nielsen outside the arc. Swings it around to Costello. Back to Nielsen. Fake the three. Low post Headley. May have traveled. Got it to Bolam. On the baseline. Shot won't go. Rebound Tusher. Put back good. Excuse me. That was Eric Nielsen on the putback. He has 7. A 10-point Brainerd lead. Kraus now on the dribble. Up on top, Hamish outside the arc. Fakes a three. Oh, and he had the ball taken right away from him by Headley. Pushes it ahead to Nielsen, who's fouled from behind by Rostein before the shot. Pat Rostein picks up the personal. His second and the third team foul of the half on the Spartans. And an inbound underneath the basket for Brainerd as Josh Lindquist will check back in now for the ROCORI Spartans, replacing Joe Hamish. So it's Rostein, Lindquist, and Kraus. 3 guards on the floor, along with Wayne Schreiner and Scott Honda. Inbound comes into Bolam. Down low, Headley taken away by Hondo. Break time, showtime! Oh, he did the finger roll and got it in. I thought maybe we were going to see the slam. 13 for Scott Hondo. 43-35. Brainerd on top. Pressure in the backcourt. Spartans trying to pick up the pace. Bolam down the lane. 14-footer won't go. Rebound Kraus. Good couple of times down the floor for the Spartans. Lindquist ahead to Rostein. Rostein back to Lindquist on top. He'll operate as a point guard. Starts it down the lane. Dumps it off to Rostein on the right wing. To Hondo. 3. Bang! Scott Hondo from about 22. 16 points for Hondo. 43-38. The lead has been cut in half. It was 43-33. Pressure now across the timeline is Costello. Leaves it up on top for Tusher, who gives it back to Costello. 3:20 remaining third. Into the left corner, Nielsen. Down low, Headley. Headley, turn around in the lane, rolls off. Battle for the rebound and a foul on Wayne Schreiner as he went over the back of Mike Tusher. Good position on the offensive boards by Tusher. Drew the foul on Wayne Schreiner. So Schreiner has 3. Wayne Schreiner does. Scott Schreiner has 4. Inbound now. Headley shot good from 10. Josh Headley has 13 points. 45-38 Brainerd. Lindquist. Let's see if they try to free Hondo again. Lindquist down the lane. Had it taken out of his hands. Ball comes loose to Headley. Headley leaves it for Costello. Under 3 remaining in the third quarter. Costello, right corner Nielsen. Back up on top on the lob. Pass is caught by Bolam. Bolam on the dribble to the left wing. Back to Costello. Back to Bolam. 23-footer for 3. Won't go. And a backside rebound by Wayne Schreiner. Triggers it ahead to Rostein. Rostein forces the play. Layup good. Pat Rostein, a good hard drive, has 16. 45-40. And Brainerd quickly back the other way. Nielsen. Left wing Bolam. Into the left corner it goes. Now back to Bolam. Up on top Costello. Pressure zone 2-3 extended by the Spartans. Costello, right corner Nielsen. 2:10 remaining third quarter. Down low, Headley, cross court to nobody home. Out of bounds it goes. Turnover, ball comes to the Spartans. Boy, this is a big trip down and a timeout by Brainerd as they want to talk about it. Bill Heitkamp takes the timeout. 2:07 remaining third quarter, 45-40 Brainerd. We're back in 1 minute on 98 Country. Absolutely. Yeah. Although Rostein's having a heck of a ball game too.
How many Rostein got?
16. That's what Hondo has too. They've got 32 of the 40 between them.
Hondo's got a quiet 16. Both got 16.
Belongs to the Spartans in the backcourt off the timeout, and it looks like Brainerd's going to come out with a pretty good pressure defense off the timeout. Josh Lindquist will work against man-to-man pressure against Mike Tusher. 2 minutes remaining third quarter, 5-point Brainerd lead. Hondo, 18-footer, good. Boy, if Scotty gets hot, watch out. 45-42, Brainerd on top. Ahead it comes now to Bolam. Bolam pushes it down the lane against Hondo. Will back it out against Costello. Right side, Nielsen launches a three. That missed everything. And the weak side rebound to Rostein. Spartans could tie it with a three after trailing by 10. Rostein, Kraus. Kraus may have traveled. Got it to Hondo. Layup good. Scott Hondo on the drive. 20 points for Scott Hondo as exploded here in the third quarter. 45-44 Brainerd. Up on top now is Costello. Bolam. 1:10 remaining third quarter. Oh my, don't go away. This one's going to go right down to the wire. Right corner, Nielsen. Back to Costello as Brainerd tries to slow it down. Now Costello for three is good. Costello has 14 points, including 4 3-pointers. 48-44 Brainerd. We're under a minute to play third quarter. Josh Lindquist pushing it ahead. Left corner, Rostein. Looks inside, can't find Hondo. Kraus will launch a three. Good! Jimmy Kraus, his first three of the ball game. 48-47. Pressure in the backcourt. Nielsen, cross court now to Tusher, who pushes it ahead to the forecourt to Headley. Headley to Costello. Kraus is right out on him. Half a minute remaining. On the right side, it goes to Nielsen. Back to Costello. Bolam up on top. Tusher left side. Left corner, Nielsen. 18 seconds remaining in the quarter. Bolam launches a three. That won't go. Hondo rebound with 14 seconds remaining. Spartans will get the last shot. Chance to take the lead before the quarter break. Rostein up on top for three. Good! Pat Rostein has 19 points. Shot at the buzzer won't go. End of the third quarter. Spartans have taken the lead. It's ROCORI 50, Brainerd 48. We're back in 1 minute on 98 Country. Tanya, you don't have to talk to me, but if you would, this could be quite a finish. Could you put a cassette in for me for the fourth quarter? Yeah. Where is that game at, do you know? Must be after 1. Okay, got it. 21-point third quarter for the Spartans, who after trailing by 10 in the third quarter, lead at 50-48 as we head into the fourth quarter of play. Brainerd inbounds to open the fourth quarter on the alternate possession. Costello on the dribble. Up on top to Bolam. Bolam back to Costello. Fakes a three to Bolam up on top. Left side it goes to Mike Johnson, who's in the ball game. Down low now to Bjorklund, the freshman who's in for the first time, and he missed the shot and then fouled Handel on the rebound. Chris Bjorklund's first personal. That is just the second team foul of the half on the Warriors. And so an inbound in the backcourt for the Spartans, who have gotten hot in a hurry in this ball game. Unbelievable the way they have really turned it on. Left side, Rothstein three. That's short off the rim. Handel rebound in the paint, 12-foot turnaround short. And the rebound to Lindquist, dumped it to Rothstein, but he was fouled as he passed it. Josh Lindquist did a nice job of forcing the play and drew the foul on Bjorklund. That is two very quickly on the freshman. 3.5 on the Warriors. And an inbound underneath the basket for the Spartans. 7:25 remaining in the ball game. 50-48 ROCORI. Kraus in the corner. Will bring it up on top on the dribble. Goes right wing Lindquist on the bounce pass. Josh now up on top to Schreiner, 15-footer. That's short off the rim, and the rebound comes down to Bolam. Bolam pushes it up the left side. Up on top for Costello. Costello on the dribble, stops in the key area. Right side it goes to Johnson. Nice move. He didn't get the shot, but he was fouled by Handel, I believe. Mike Johnson with a good inside move drew the foul on Scott Handel. That is Scott's first, the 15th foul of the half on the Spartans. That's the line to shoot two will be Mike Johnson, who has 5 points in the ball game on a 3-point and a 2-point field goal in the first half. Free throw is short off the rim. Five of 9 from the free throw line now are the Brainerd Warriors. Make it 6 of 10 as he hits the second free throw. 50-49 Spartans, under 7 minutes remaining. Josh Lindquist on the dribble, will back out. Left side Kraus. Kraus outside the arc, dribbles it down the paint, dumps it to Handel in the corner. Handel on the drive was fouled by Costello, had it slapped out of his hands, but Costello got the arm. And that is 3 on Chris Costello and 4 on the Warriors in the half. An inbound coming for the Spartans underneath the basket. In it comes to Rothstein. He launches a 2. That's off the iron. And the rebound comes down to Costello for the Warriors. He'll work into the forecourt on Kraus. Bumping with Jim, down low. Bjorklund layup good. Good look by Chris Costello to find Bjorklund for his first 2. And the Warriors are back on top, 51-50. Kraus in the backcourt. Across the timeline. Picked up his dribble, in troubles, got to get some help. Got it into Lindquist, but it was tipped away by Johnson, who saved it off Lindquist out of bounds. The ball belongs to Brainerd. Nice hustle play by Mike Johnson. On the inbound now, Chris Costello will work on Josh Lindquist. He picked up his dribble in the backcourt, but he pushes it ahead now to Brent Stark. Stark leaves it for Costello. Costello on the wing. Faked a long 3, got it back to Bolam. Bolam still outside the arc. Left side Johnson. One dribble on the wing and into the corner to Stark. Stark back to the wing to Bolam, who launches a 3. Good. Gus Bolam, his second 3-pointer. That one from about 23 feet. And the Warriors are back to a 4-point lead at 54-50. Lindquist down low. Handel, 12-footer. That won't go. And the rebound comes down to Johnson. Scott Schreiner is going to check in for the Spartans with his 4 personal fouls. Up on top, Costello down the paint. Scoop shot won't go, but he was fouled on the block by Wayne Schreiner. That is Wayne's 4th, as Scott Schreiner will check in now with his 4 personals. 16 fouls on the Spartans. And a timeout coming by ROCORI. 5:25 remaining in the ball game. Brainerd leads at 54-50. We're back in 1 minute on 98 Country. Last time I'm wearing a sweatshirt in here.
Yeah, it's always warm.
And my tank top next week. Mr. Dolan knew the drill. Free throws coming now for the Warriors after the timeout. Scott Schreiner checked back into the ballgame, replacing Jim Krause. So it's Scott and Wayne Schreiner both playing with 4 personal fouls. Scott Hondel, Josh Lindquist, and Pat Rostein on the floor. At the line to shoot 2 will be Chris Costello, who has 14 points in the ballgame. This is his first trip to the free throw line, and he makes the first one. Brainerd back on top by 5 now. They led by as many as 10 before the Spartans jumped back on top by 2 at 50-48. That's 7 in a row by Brainerd, make it 8 in a row, and they lead at 56-50 with 5:25 remaining. Josh Lindquist across the timeline, working against Johnson. Right side to Rostein. Rostein through the key area to Wayne Schreiner. Wayne Schreiner on the dribble, back to Rostein. Back to Wayne up on top. Now on the right wing, high. That won't go. Wayne Schreiner got a tip. Rostein got the rebound, 15-footer good. Schreiner kept it alive. Rostein came to Jay, 56-52. Bolam. Up on top to Costello. Brainerd will be in no hurry here. They would like to make this a little bit shorter ball game by taking some time off the clock. Bolam up on top to Costello. 4:45 remaining. 4-point Brainerd lead. Costello in the right corner for Stark. Holds the ball high atop his head. Back to Bolam. 3, good. Gus Bolam has 10 points. By my unofficial count, that is 9 3-pointers for the Warriors. And now Josh Lindquist throws it away on the other end. Turnover. And Brainerd has the ball in a 7-point lead. Costello ahead to Bolam. Bolam on the dribble. Looked like a globetrotter as he went down to one knee, but got it back to Costello. Costello to Bolam. Launches a 3. That's short off the rim, and the rebound to Hondel. Hondel almost had it tipped out of his hands. Now he gives it to Lindquist in the backcourt. Josh on the dribble. Left corner, Rostein. Looks inside for Scott Schreiner. Can't get it to him. Dribbles up and gives it to Wayne Schreiner. Wayne Schreiner running 14-footer, won't go. And a battle for the rebound and a traveling call as Bjorklund went down on the floor. Bjorklund got knocked to the floor in the traveling call. And an inbound for the Spartans underneath the basket with 3:52 remaining in the ballgame. Lindquist to Rostein in the corner. Rostein up on top to Josh Lindquist. Lindquist down the paint. Runner won't go. Rebound to Bjorklund. Took it away from Scott Schreiner, but the pass is stolen by Rostein. Rostein into the forecourt. Bob Brink wanted to foul. Rostein, spinner in the lane is good, and he got the foul. Pat Rostein spun in the lane, put up the 12-footer. The shot rolled in, and he was fouled. 23 points for Pat Rostein. Chance to make it 24 at the line and pull the Spartans back within 4. Eric Nielsen will check back in, replacing Brent Stark for the Warriors. Pat Rostein is playing the game of his life in this one. Free throw is good. 24 points for Pat Rostein, and it's 60-54. I'm not sure that they didn't put that free throw on the wrong side. I believe our score is 59-55. They show 60-54 on the scoreboard, but I believe it's 59-55. And they will correct it. They're correcting it right now. Inbound, Warriors underneath, and a shot good by Mike Johnson in traffic. 8 points for Johnson, 61-55. Lindquist into the forecourt, left side Hondel. Hondel shovel pass to Schreiner, and he's fouled by Bjorklund. Chris Bjorklund, the freshman, draws his 3rd foul underneath. 5 on the Warriors. I'm not sure if this will be free throws, if they'll rule that Scott Schreiner was shooting or not. They will do that, but we have a timeout called by Bob Brink. 3:14 remaining. 61-55 Brainerd. We're back in 1 minute on 98 Country. What? Oh, yeah. You're lucky because I don't pay attention that much, so. After the timeout, Scott Schreiner at the line to shoot 2 for the Spartans with 3:14 remaining. Free throw is up and no good. He'll get one more, and that is the first free throw that Scott Schreiner has missed this year. He was 15 of 15 coming into the ballgame. I didn't want to say that before he shot. I'm glad he missed and I didn't jinx him. Second free throw is likewise no good, and the rebound comes down to Bolam. Scott's had a tough game. He had good rebounding early on, but then he struggled with the personal foul. 3:05 remaining, a 6-point Brainerd lead, and they have the ball. Costello up on top. Spartans will extend the zone a little bit. Bolam, left side for Johnson. Johnson, now back to Bolam. Bolam on the right side to Costello, who'll dribble back up on top. 2:40 remaining. Brainerd in no hurry. Right side, Nielsen. Looks inside, comes back up on top to Costello. To Nielsen. Nielsen looks inside to try to get an entry pass to Headley. Pass out on top, stolen by Lindquist. Lindquist on Nielsen. Shot blocked, but he was fouled. Got him with the body as he went up to try to block the layup of Josh Lindquist. Nielsen draws the foul. His third. And at the line to shoot 2 will be Josh Lindquist, who has not scored in the ball game. Looking back, I don't think Josh has scored on the season. He missed one free throw against Melrose. A couple of big free throws here with 2:29 remaining. And he got it. But what a confidence builder for the transfer student from St. Cloud Tech, Josh Lindquist. He's played a pretty good floor game here. 61-56. Now 61-57. Attaboy, Josh. 2:29 remaining. Mike Johnson to Headley, to Costello, still in the backcourt, now across the timeline. They made it with about 2 seconds to spare. Costello, he goes cross court to Bolam. 4-point lead. Spartans will extend the zone, may even go man-to-man here. Lindquist out on Costello. Josh tries to steal, can't get it. Costello still on the dribble, could be a 5-second call, and they got it. A 5-second call, Lindquist threw it on Costello. And the ball goes over to the Spartans on the turnover. Joe Hemish will check in now to give Wayne Schreiner a break with exactly 2 minutes remaining. Ron Sebring will hand the ball now to Scott Schreiner. Lindquist with under 2 minutes remaining, a 4-point Brainerd lead. Boy, strap your seatbelts on. We're going to the wire. Hemish to Rostein. Rostein down the paint, runner, good! It hung on the rim and dropped. Pat Rostein has 26 points, and it's a 2-point Brainerd lead. And a foul in the backcourt on Rostein on the dribble. That is his third. That's maybe not a terrible foul, because that will force Brainerd to the line with 1:41 remaining. Probably not where they wanted to commit the personal, but probably the end result will not be terrible. At the line to shoot will be Gus Bolam, who has 10 points in the ball game. He's 1 of 2 so far from the line. And he rolled in. Free throw hung on the rim, looked like it might drop out, but fell in. He'll get one more, try to give Brainerd a 4-point lead with 1:41 remaining. It's Joe Hemish, Scott Schreiner, Josh Lindquist, Scott Hondo, and Pat Rostein on the floor as the second free throw is good. Here come the Spartans now, trailing by 4 with 1:35 remaining. Spartans have a couple of timeouts left in the ballgame. Josh Lindquist spinning on top. Left side, Hondo, 3, short off the rim. Rebound, battled for, and Rothstein came away with it. Up on top is Lindquist. Lindquist dribbled off his foot, got it back. Hemish, lob pass Hondo. Bounce pass Schreiner. Good, and he was fouled. Scott Schreiner on a beautiful feed from Scott Hondo. Got the bucket and was fouled. Chance to pull the Spartans to within 1. Personal foul will be whistled on Gus Bolam. That is his 3rd. 1:17 remaining, 63-61 Brainerd. Scott Schreiner at the line, trying to complete the 3-point play. The crowd will tell you whether it's good. And it was good. 5 points for Scott Schreiner, a 1-point ball game with 1:15 remaining. Costello, ahead to Nielsen, to Costello. Good aggressive defense, 1:05 remaining. Bolam on the left wing. Brainerd has a bunch of timeouts remaining in the ball game too. Nielsen, left side for Bolam. They've taken only 1. Costello up on top, 54 seconds remaining, and Lindquist fouls him. Josh Lindquist fouls Chris Costello with 52.5 seconds remaining. At the line to shoot will be Costello, shooting 1 and 1. He's 2 of 2 from the line. Collectively, the Warriors are 10 of 14. And he missed the free throw, and Hondo got the rebound and got the ball to Scott Schreiner. Lindquist in the backcourt. Spartans trail by 1. They have the basketball with 45 seconds remaining. And Lindquist is fouled up on top by Mike Johnson. So Josh Lindquist will try to give the Spartans the lead at the line. Oh my, oh my. 41.6 seconds remaining. Josh Lindquist, playing his best ball game so far this year, will be at the line to shoot 1 and 1. Once again, you listen to the crowd. They'll tell you the result. The right-hander takes a couple of dribbles, launches the free throw, short off the rim, ball battled for, loose on the floor, and it is, comes up with a Scott Schreiner for the layup. Scott Schreiner got the layup. 1-point ROCORI lead, 30 seconds remaining. Nielsen to Costello, down to 25, Spartans lead it by 1. Down low, Henley got Hondo off his feet and banked it in. Brainerd leads it by 1 with 18 seconds remaining. Lindquist ahead, down the lane, dumped it off to Hondo, out of bounds. Threw it away out of bounds with 12.4 remaining. Brainerd has the ball in a 1-point lead. And they'll have to foul right away. They get it into Bolam. Lindquist will work on him. They got to foul him, and Rothstein does so. That's 4 on Rothstein. My, oh my, Scott Schreiner came up with the loose ball, put it in. They came back down the other way, and Josh Headley with the 10-foot turnaround in the lane off the glass gave Brainerd a 1-point lead, and we'll go back to the Brainerd end for free throws with 9.3 seconds remaining. After this timeout, Brainerd 65, ROCORI 64. Back for the exciting finish in 30 seconds on 98 Country. Okay, Tanya, how are we doing spot-wise? Okay, we need another 50. You can probably put a 15 on this 30 if you need to.
Who scored the ROCORI goal?
Schreiner, 34.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Good game.
How about he makes one of the 2 free throws in Hondo, it's a 3 at the bottom.
I'm thinking.
I believe it will be Gus Bolam at the line. I believe he's the one that was fouled in the backcourt. They'll be at the line to shoot 1 plus the bonus with 9.3 seconds remaining. Brainerd leads at to 64. Jim Krause is going to check back in for the Spartans for some ball handling ability. Free throw, good. Gus Bolam has 13 points. If he makes a free throw, the Spartans could still tie it with a 3. Joe Hemish will sit down as Jim Krause checks back in. The left-hander's second free throw rolls in. Spartans need a 3 to tie. Lindquist, 7 seconds. Lindquist on the dribble. To Krause, outside the arc. 3 on the way, good! With 1 second left, there's the horn. We go to overtime. We go to overtime. Jim Krause with the 3 at the buzzer. We go to overtime in Cold Spring. Brainerd 67, ROCORI 67. Back in 1 minute on 98 Country. Jump to start the overtime, a 3-minute extra period, 67-67. Scott Hondo will jump it against Josh Headley. Spartans will continue to move from right to left. Unbelievable. Jim Krause with the 3 at the horn as time ran out in the ball game to tie it and send it on OT over the top of a flying Gus Bolam. Tap control by the Spartans. So that means the possession arrow will go to Brainerd. Lindquist across the timeline. To Hondo in the paint. Turnaround from 10 is good. 22 for Scott Hondo. 15 seconds into the overtime, 69-67 ROCORI. Up on top is Costello. Running 14-footer is good. Chris Costello answers, and we're tied again at 69. Lindquist. Josh has played a great ball game out on the floor, especially late in the game. Left side Rostein, who has 26 points. Lindquist, right side Jimmy Krause. Krause to the paint, to Scott Schreiner, who's playing with 4 personal fouls. Krause down the lane, dumps it out to Lindquist. Lindquist had it taken out of his hands by Nielsen, and back come the Warriors. Nielsen into the forecourt, will wait for his teammates to catch up. Costello with the ball now, 2:05 remaining in the OT. Possession, very important. Johnson, 16-footer, that won't go. Rebound battled for and tied up. It will belong to the Warriors on the alternate arrow, as Joe Hemish will check in now for the Spartans. So Brainerd maintains possession, but the next arrow now goes to the Spartans, as Josh Lindquist will sit down for a rest and gets a nice pat on the rear end from his coach, Bob Brink. Inbound to Nielsen. On the right side, Bolam for 3. That won't go, and Joe Hemish got the rebound. Krause will take it in the backcourt with 1:50 remaining. Jim Krause on the left side for Hondo, drives it in and slams it home. Scott Hondo on the layup on the rim, 24 for Hondo, 71-69. Costello for 3. That won't go. Rebound battled for, loose in the lane, and a foul as Mike Johnson tried to go back up. My, oh my, Costello was wide open for the 3. He couldn't convert. And then on the rebound, Mike Johnson drew the foul. Foul will go against Joe Hemish. That is Hemish's second. 1.5 minutes remaining in our first overtime. At the line to shoot 2 is Mike Johnson. He had 8 points in regulation. Free throw rolled off. It rolled off. He'll get one more opportunity. as you listen to exciting prep basketball on 98 Country, WWJO St. Cloud, 98.1 FM for all of mid-Minnesota. Second free throw is good. It's a 1-point Spartan lead. Minute and a half remaining in our first overtime. Kraus on the dribble. Goes on the right side to Rostein. Rostein to the key area. Left side, Scott Schreiner. On the dribble, Handel up top. Down the paint, had the ball tipped away, but he was fouled. I don't know if he was going to shoot or pass, but he was fouled by Costello. And that is 4 on Chris Costello. At the line to shoot will be Handel. Let's see if they give him 2 or 1 and 1. It looked like he might have been intending to pass the ball off to the side, but they are going to give him 2 free throws.
Yeah, it wasn't a shot.
Handel has 24 in the ball game, including 4 in overtime. And he has 5 in overtime. 72-70 Spartans. Second free throw is also good. 26 points, that equals Pat Rostein, 3-point lead for the Spartans with 1:10 remaining. Up on top it is now for Bolam. Bolam to Headley. Headley wheels in the lane and cans the 10-footer. 17 for Josh Headley, 73-72 Spartans, and Kraus is fouled in the backcourt by Bolam. And that's probably a pretty good foul with 57 seconds remaining, because even if Kraus hits both free throws, it's still only a 3-point lead, which is a 1-possession trip, 1-possession game. Bolam has 4. Kraus will shoot the 1 and 1 at the other end. He has 6 points in the ball game on 2 3-pointers, none bigger than the 3 he hit at the buzzer to send it into overtime. And that seems like a long time ago already. First free throw is good by Jimmy Kraus. As you could probably tell by the crowd reaction, he'll get 1 more, try to make it a 3-point lead, and probably force the Warriors to fire up a 3. Second free throw is good. Costello pushes it ahead to Nielsen. 54 seconds on the clock in our first overtime. Costello, right side Nielsen. Back to Costello. Back to Nielsen as they play catch outside the arc. Costello. The Bolam 3 on the way. Count it. My, oh my, we're tied again. 17 for Chris Bolam. He has 4 3-pointers, and we're tied at 75. Spartans will go for the last shot. 30 seconds remaining. Who will take it? Maybe Handel, maybe Rostein, maybe Kraus. Pass over the way, back the other way, Bolam, and he's fouled from behind by Hemish. Bolam was going up for the layup, and he was fouled by Joe Hemish. And he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Oh, a bad pass was picked off by, Mike Johnson on the interception. He'll go to the line to shoot 2 as Joe Hemish draws his 3rd personal. 22.9 remaining, and the Spartans take a timeout. We will too. 75-75, 22.9 remaining in OT, back in 30 seconds on 98 Country.
You get paid for overtime?
I don't even get paid for this. I'm on salaries.
I've done 2 hockey games this year, both overtime.
Oh, yeah?
I've done 1 basketball overtime. And the kiss of death.
Uh-oh. Try to stay away, will you, when we come up there? Now here's the situation. 22.9 seconds remaining. After Mike Johnson made the steal as the Spartans were trying to go for 1 shot, he was fouled on the layup attempt by Joe Hemish. Johnson will be at the line to shoot 2 after the timeout, trying to give Brainerd the lead. Then the Spartans will get the ball back. We were tied at 67 at the end of regulation. Both teams have scored 8 in the overtime. For the Spartans, 6 in OT for Scott Handel and 2 for Jim Kraus. 3 for Gus Bolam, 2 for Josh Headley and Chris Costello, and 1 for Mike Johnson for the Warriors. Now Johnson has 2, and the Warriors have the lead at 76-75. Unbelievable ball game. Johnson will try to make it a 2-point lead. And he missed the free throw. Handel got the rebound. 20 seconds remaining. Spartans can win it on this trip. 17 on the clock. Jim Kraus down to 15. To Handel. To Kraus. Down to 12. Down to Lane. To Handel. Down to Payne. Runner from 12. Rolled out. Rebound. Schreider. Put back no good, but he was fouled. Scott Schreider with the offensive board got fouled, and he'll go to the line with 5.6 seconds remaining. Oh, my. Scott Schreiner, the team's best free throw shooter, will be at the line to shoot 2. Remember, he needs only 1 to tie. The foul is on Mike Johnson, his 3rd, and now Brainerd will take a timeout. 76-75 Brainerd, 5.6 seconds remaining in the first overtime, and we're back in 30 seconds on 98 Country. Yeah, I remember that. You want to keep your mouth shut? I said you want to keep your mouth shut? Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, you got to hear Mike. You know Mike Dombrowski, right? You got to hear Mike tell stories about that game.
Super fan.
Yeah. Scott Schreiner will be at the line to shoot 2 here. Scott 1 of 3 in the ball game. He came in 15 of 15 from the charity stripe. If he hits 1, it ties it. If he hits both, it gives the lead to the Spartans. But either way, Brainerd would have to get a bucket going back the other way. Although 1 would send it into another OT, 2 would give the Spartans the lead if they could hold the Warriors off. Scott's first free throw is up and not good. He'll need the second one to tie. He has 7 points in the ball game. And Brainerd will take another timeout. Maybe not. Nope, they're just going to switch some positions on the lane. I thought they were going to call another timeout to try to ice Scott. Takes his time at the line. The right-hander is set. And he arches it up, and it is no good. Rebound loose. Comes to Joe Hemish with 3.5 to Rostein. 3 on the way. Short off the rim. Hemish at the buzzer won't go. Hemish's putback at the buzzer won't go. And Brainerd wins it 76-75. Oh my, what a heartbreaking loss for the Spartans as they had 2 opportunities off the board on the missed free throws by Scott Schreiner. Rostein's 3 wouldn't go. Hemish's putback at the buzzer wouldn't go. And Brainerd wins it 76-75. We'll come back to talk about it in 1 minute on 98 Country.
We'll see ya. Take care.
Yeah, I will. Unbelievable. Huh? Well, welcome back to ROCORI High School. Our final score in overtime in one of the wildest basketball games I've ever been involved in. Brainerd 76, ROCORI 65. After we were tied at 67, Brainerd came back to win it in overtime. A couple of free throws, one free throw by Mike Johnson, giving Brainerd the lead at 76-75 with about 15 seconds left in the ballgame. The Spartans came back the other way with a chance to win it. Scott Schreiner was fouled trying to win the ballgame with 5.6 seconds left. He missed both free throws. On the ensuing rebound, the ball came out to Pat Rostein, who fired a 3 that was short off the rim. Joe Hemish got the rebound with about 5 seconds remaining, and his putback was no good. and Brainerd held on to win it by a score of 76-75 in overtime. Our post-game show is being brought to you by Hardee's Restaurant on Highway 23 in Cold Spring. We'll name our Hardee's Hustler of the game in just a moment, but first let's check the scoring. Emmett Keenan back with you here on 98 Country. Tanya Summers, our engineer, back in the 98 Country studios. For the Spartans, who lose it by 1, they were led by Pat Rostein and Scott Hondel. Both had 26 points. The 26 points, a high game for Rostein on the year. Hondel with 26 will actually see his average drop on the season. 8 points for Jim Kraus. 7 in the game for Scott Schreiner, who got in some foul trouble early on. 4 for Joe Hemish, 2 for Josh Lindquist, and 2 for Wayne Schreiner. For the Brainerd Warriors, 17 each for Josh Headley and Gus Bolam. Gus Bolam had a 3 in overtime. They were led with Chris Costello, who had 18, including a 2-pointer in overtime. 10 points on the game for Mike Johnson, 7 for Eric Nielsen, 3 for Mike Tusher, and 2 apiece for Brent Stark and Chris Bjorklund. That totals 76. Brainerd wins at 76-75 in overtime. Brainerd led it by 10 points at one time in the third quarter, but the Spartans stormed back to lead it 50-48 heading into the fourth quarter at the end of 3. Brainerd went back on top. They scored 9 in a row to lead it 57-50 before the Spartans came back to tie it at the buzzer on a 3 by Jim Kraus at 67 and send it into OT. And we described what happened there as Brainerd comes away with a 76-75 victory in overtime. We've yet to name our Hardee's Hustler of the game. We'll take a break. We'll come back and do that after this message from Hardee's Restaurant in Cold Spring. Can I wrap it up after this, then, Tanya? Okay, all the spots are done? Okay, cool, thanks. Once again, our final score, Brainerd 76, ROCORI 75 in overtime. And we have not been joined yet by either Bob or Doug Brink. Gary Distel is off tonight scouting Wilmer. So we'll take it upon ourselves to name the Hardee's Hustler of the game. And for the second game in a row, I think we're going to give it to Pat Rostein. He was the co-leader in points along with Scott Hondel for the Spartans. Rostein played a great floor game, directed the Spartans up and down, had a great fourth quarter, scored 7 points as the Spartans surged back in the fourth quarter to tie this ball game and send it to overtime. And so our Hardee's Hustler of the game, once again, Pat Rostein for the second time this year, as the Spartans fall to Brainerd in overtime by a score of 76-75.